on a
Seven.
really hot day, if you get iced
Yeah.
green tea
Are we-
and you put like a shot of
Are we actually on Nuzzle?
Marbles.
Okay.
Can we do it?
So
We're gonna do it.
he was saying it was like an MMO, and I said he should call it an MMO RPG. And I got
Oh,
nothing.
see,
I got no laugh. I got.
Oh man.
Are we live?
All right. Welcome
We're
back
live.
to our absolute mess. Our E3 post show. This is a post show because we already had the post show with Asif talking to Oculus. But
That was
now,
pretty awesome.
now we're going to check in with our writers, our stable of writers, about what we saw today, what was cool, and we're going to hand out a few awards. Not to you, Chatty. Chatty can get like the best Chatty award. We'll give
Oh
him
yeah,
that.
let's just start. Let's start this now. The thread that I posted about streaming with Nate. If you reply to that, you have a chance to win a Shacknews T-shirt.
Oh, more T-shirt chances.
Another T-shirt.
Oh my
giveaway.
God. It's going to be a regular thing on the post show, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought that was spontaneous. Anyway,
Well, it is, but spontaneously gonna happen every post show.
so I'm going to go around round robin real quick. We have to keep this quick this time because we're already 20 minutes, 30 minutes deep. Everybody name one thing that you saw today that interested you and why. So, David.
War Thunder in VR.
War Thunder in VR. What was cool about War Thunder in VR?
I got to try a Vive for the first time. And I don't know anything about shooting down planes, but I flew over some fields and I looked at farms and I did a barrel roll and almost threw up. And
You
that
did a
was
barrel
cool.
roll?
I did a barrel roll. They were like,
Did
hey.
you have the HOTUS?
What-
Hands-on throttle and stick?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
Yes, I
That's
did.
super immersive.
That was super immersive. They were like, hey, do a barrel roll and look up. And I was like, okay.
Barrel roll.
Yeah, that was a little rough. But no, it is, I don't care about shooting down planes, but I could just fly around this realistic, like, pastoral setting all day. It was fun. It was actually kind of peaceful and just relaxing until the barrel roll.
I only respond to commands to do a barrel roll when it's delivered by a bunny.
Oh. Okay.
Except not on Wii U.
No, not on Wii U. All
Game
right,
stinks.
let's pass the mic down. Cass, what did you see today that stood out to you?
Strafe.
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 Is
Wait,
this
this-
the truth?
This is
Yeah.
actually something that's going to be on the show tomorrow, but she is crazy excited
Man. No,
about it.
I went and saw Devolver this morning. It was my first appointment of the day, and it was my favorite appointment of E3 so far. Devolver never lets me down because they always pick really cool, unique little indie games, and all of their indie games have something special and unique about them. And the thing that's really cool about Strafe is that it is an FPS roguelike, and it's also drawing real heavy inspiration from classic FPS shooters, so things like Quake and Doom and basically Thief, things like that. And it has a very retro look to it, but they also have like some modern sensibilities thrown in there. And my favorite part of it, and maybe it's because I'm playing a lot of Doom lately, is that they have
Everyone's playing a lot of Doom lately.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They
You guys should be playing Doom while you're watching the stream.
yeah, same time, dual screen it. No, my favorite part of it was that the gore that they have in that game actually serves a purpose. So like, you can walk up and you can shoot, and it's very similar where it has like demons and kind of weird looking creatures and robots and just this weird array of enemies coming at you. And when you kill something, it will spray blood everywhere. And if there's like chunks of meat and viscera that hit the wall, they will hit the wall and drip down slowly. And it's so gross and awesome. But the reason that they did it, and it's interesting, they were talking about games like Turok and some of those more classic shooters. They went back to that where you would clear out an area and then everything would be gone. And so you'd go back there and be like, was I coming this way? Where you'd get lost. And so the way
Well,
exactly, that's what they
Turok
use it
also
for.
had so much fog you couldn't tell where you were.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, but Strafe was awesome. It was super, super cool. It's a roguelike, so you start off and you pick one gun. It's not like one that gives you a full arsenal. My favorite one that I saw was the super shotgun because they put like a blast on it. So if you shot something from real close range, it would knock it back like 10 feet. It was so fun to watch. Yeah, so Strafe was easily my favorite thing that I saw today.
Awesome. When we can mention that we're going to have that on the show tomorrow. So
Awesome.
if
And I'm gonna be
you are
hosting
curious
it.
about that, Cass is actually going to be talking to them again, and just kind of screaming like, "Tell me about Strafe."
So Steve, what was the coolest thing you
The
saw?
coolest thing I
this
saw
year
today. Oh, gee. Okay. Agents of Mayhem. Like, I had to make a split-second decision between Agents of Mayhem or Let It Die, and I went. I
decided to Let It Die.
I juked with Let It Die was also pretty cool. I'll say that, but I'll gravitate more towards Agents of Mayhem. That it's the Saints Row kind of spiritual successor. It doesn't really feel a lot like Saints Row. Saints Row had a control scheme where it was, the camera was kind of centered behind the back. It was very GTA. This is no, this is my second shirt. Thank you. Anyway, this is like over-the-shoulder third person, more Gears of War style. So it's kind of close up. It's meant to be, a little slower paced. You're not doing the crazy like dash move across the open world or anything like that. So it's like in smaller spaces. But at the same time, it does have the Saints Row sense of humor. It's got, cool power-ups. It's got very powerful effects. It's got a lot of silliness and a lot of profanity. So all of those things are among my favorite things: silliness and profanity.
Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, exactly. The boss of to give you an idea of the silliness, the boss was an AI pop star. Like, I didn't even make this connection until Cass pointed out, but Hatsune Miku. The boss is Hatsune Miku.
You're gonna make me sound like a Hatsune Miku fangirl.
Yeah.
You just mentioned holograms. I would also have said the gorillas.
It's like a hologram AI robot pop star. And,
I want this.
And she gets corrupted by the Legion bad guys. Like, their whole thing is they are
going to be on the stream tomorrow?
No, I'm sorry.
Miku?
The Legion.
I'd interview her.
The Legion bad guys are technophiles apparently. So their whole thing is they're trying to control all the technology. So of course they went to corrupt this powerful AI robot that also happens to be a pop star. And so you battle like a little chirpy AI pop star at the end. It's hilarious.
That sounds great.
It's great.
There's
It's great.
nothing wrong with that at all. I want to play it. Now,
Yeah,
I
you should.
I went to the Oculus booth again today because that's all I do.
Are you on a first name basis with that
Asif
over there?
lives there.
Okay.
No, I am.
awesome.
I'm first
I
name
have to
basis.
tell you.
You think he's kidding, but we walked in and everyone was like, "Awesome!" And I'm like, "God,
He's a rock star there.
I have to tell you, I was walking past this way and I saw the funniest thing. My favorite part of VR is watching people play VR.
Yeah, right?
And there was this dude back there, and he was a very crunchy looking dude, very hipstery kind of. Okay, nice long beard. Sure, he was a very nice guy.
Oh,
No.
But
But we walked back there, and they have like a meditation, it's like a guided meditation VR experience back there, and this guy was in it, and it was the funniest thing. I got a video of it. I might post it. It seems kind of mean to do, but
Oh, post it. Oh, no. When someone's being goofy in VR and you capture it without them knowing, you post that.
Well,
you don't even think about it. You just post it.
It was him, and he just had like this incredulous look on his face, and he was just like, and it was the best thing.
Cass still has scruples.
It's so good.
We'll
It made
beat
me
those
so
out of her.
happy.
It'll be fine.
I'm just going to rename Oculus to just Asif. No, yeah, but I went over there. Anyway, so I went over there, and I saw the CEO of Oculus was standing there, and he knows me, and I was with our buddy John Gaudiosi, and he was filming interviews. So while he was filming interviews, I was like, hey, be cool if you guys stop by our booth. And I pulled out my phone, and I show Microsoft here. And he was like, whoa. And then, apparently I struck a chord with them, and
Yeah.
we had no appointment with Oculus to be here today, so I totally did that for Shacknews.
That was spontaneous.
But yeah, I tried out a couple of games over there. Wilson's Heart was really cool. It was the first time I ever tried it. It's by Twisted Pixel. And it's like you're in this hospital and you're a patient. You wake up and you literally, the first thing you have to do is you're shackled to the wall. You have to rip out these bolts from your arm.
Oh, so like the hospital.
It's like some weird hospital
nightmare
dungeon.
hospital."
Yeah, some weird hospital dungeon
Right,
place,
okay.
and you go. Once again, there was a scene where you're looking in the mirror, and you have these two bolts on either side of your head, and you literally have to rip bolts out of your head, and then bandage them, and it's just weird. It was the coolest hand presence game I've experienced, and locomotion is by teleportation. And it's instead of being a little circle on the ground, it's actually a ghost image of yourself. So it's you're looking at this is myself here, this is myself there, and you basically just push in on the analog and it just shoots you around. It's super easy to move around. The hand presence was really cool, and I was talking to Nate about it on the stream. It's just for some reason breaking stuff in VR is just fun.
Breaking stuff in any game is fun.
You know-
well, dangerous golf.
It's just not up to par.
we don't speak. No,
Yeah.
no.
But anyway,
I get
for
what
the
you're
people
saying.
asking about my tea, It's from Starbucks. It's half green tea and half mint tea. It's Jade Citrus
That's
Mint.
right. This
Mint
show is about
Majesty.
video games, everyone.
Yeah, but they keep asking about my tea.
Chatty
Where
has
is Asif's Apple Watch? That's a great question.
Chatty demands beard guy video, so
No,
you just
yeah,
serve
I
this
have
guy
it.
up.
They're demanding you do it for Shacknews.
You should totally upload it.
happening.
All right, I'll put it up.
Do it for
I
Shacknews.
also was kind of floating around the idea of doing like a best beards of E3 feature. I've seen
Best beers of E3. I will
some
link
doozies,
you. Like,
man.
I have some. There's some NHL videos that you could totally borrow from. Like
I
epic
saw one
beards.
dude walking up to the South Hall where he had shaved just like here, and then the rest of it was just like.
Well, you're in between two
I've got
contenders for
nothing
best
wrong with.
beard.
I've got nothing wrong with beards. I've got a thing wrong with gross beards.
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Well,
there's a fair bit of
I
that.
think people should shower at E3.
Okay,
Well,
we,
there's that
we
too.
have an actual interesting question from the chatty instead of just bullshit about Asif's tea. But first, I want to give Josh a chance to talk about
Josh,
what he
what's the
saw
coolest
today.
thing you saw today?
I can't talk about the coolest thing I saw today.
Oh, it's
Oh, look at
embargoed.
him.
It's actually
There,
under, it's
this
actually
year,
under embargo.
this year more than most years, just to inform our viewers at home, more than I can ever recall, there have been things that like they show us here that are embargoed for after E3.
We could tell you,
Yeah,
but we'd
like
have to
I've
kill
got
you.
something embargoed
Which is
for,
the
like, a month
weirdest
from
thing.
now. It's so weird. It's
Yeah.
so weird because like they've got people playing.
So
this stuff
tune
on
in a
foot.
week to find out what the most interesting thing Josh saw today
No,
was.
I'm gonna talk about the second most interesting thing I saw today. I had an appointment with Nvidia, and I went and I heard their spiel about how the 1080 is better than everything else, and how I should spend another $700 on a new graphics card.
Don't
What
do
about
that.
the Shield? Did they
I'm
try?
not.
They
I
sold you
just
on
got
the
my
Shield.
980 Ti,
I know, me too.
and it does everything perfectly.
It does.
But anyways, the point is, so then after that, they were like, it was just a complete spur of the moment appointment. They were just like, oh, well, we can show you some VR. So I was like, okay. So they took me and showed me a couple of things. The Funhouse, Nvidia Funhouse thing was really cool. It like showcases all their technology, like hair works. Like there was this one thing, like a whack-a-mole thing, and you could like pat his head and feel the haptic feedback from it and see the hair moving, and you could shoot things. But the coolest thing, and I'm sound like a huge freaking nerd when I say this.
What?
The coolest thing.
At
The
E3?
coolest thing was the Star Trek Bridge Crew demo.
That's pretty nerdy.
hands-on I got to do.
It is pretty nerdy. And I'm not
It
even-
was amazing.
It seems
though.
neat. It seems kind of cool. You know.
That sounds awesome.
I'm not
Actually,
even.
Nate-
I'm,
Nate
not,
was
I'm a
singing
Star
it.
Wars fan, not a Trekker.
The
So
best
Same,
part
yeah.
about it is like I did it with two guys that were from Oculus, and like one of them like reached in his backpack and pulled out one of the red Star Trek shirts and like put it on.
Oh, jeez.
but that means he's gonna die.
That means he's dead now. Way to go, Josh.
I don't
Hey,
know
he
Star
did
Trek
it,
that well,
not
but I know
me.
that much.
Yeah,
He did it,
same.
not me.
All right. So we're gonna hit this question real quick. We have one more
Did
thing.
someone try Steep?
No one tried to. I don't even know if they're actually having
I don't
Steam
think
playable.
there's-
We're going to be checking with Ubisoft to make sure that things are playable.
I
and not
don't know
just,
if any
not
of the
just
things.
booth tours. but-
Is anything that was announced during the press conference is playable? I don't think so. Like nothing at Sony is. It's all
Not-
behind
not
closed doors,
really.
hands-off demos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are things that are very under lock and key this year. It feels like a much more locked down show.
Josh tried to drop Steve Gibson's name at the 2K booth to get a Mafia demo, and it didn't work.
The bad thing about it is like it might have worked if the guy I was interviewing wasn't like, oh yeah, I used to sleep on his living room floor, and I was like, damn it.
Okay. Before Danny Farkle's question gets scrolled off. Oh no! It just happened. All right.
Question for Steph.
As the market grows and eventually allows for AAA titles in VR, what do you think it will allow that we can't get today? I don't see how it will allow for much more than longer games and better fidelity.
It'll allow for Mario, or I don't know.
So
Gears.
So quote real games, but
Yeah, it'll
but in
just.
VR?
I'm just talking about. Basically, it's going to be an IP thing.
My answer is Resident Evil 7 so
Well,
far.
yeah.
Because that's a full game. I'm actually going to visit a world instead of a bunch of disparate locations.
Drop the mic. Walk
Yeah.
off stage right now.
That was a good answer.
That's it.
Resident Evil 7. There you go.
Yeah, David's done. It's Resident Evil 7.
But what about the locomotion issue? Like, I've heard a lot of people talking about the locomotion issue. It made a lot of people motion sick because it didn't rely on transportation, like teleportation.
I
had no problems with it, although there was kind of a disconnect since I was using a controller and the headset, but it's the full version will have move support.
But
think
move
that'll help a lot.
support's
But
still going to
you're
have
still
an
using
analog
analog
joystick to have you move around.
So it's not the full step into the next level, but I think that is the closest we've gotten so far.
And that's definitely a problem that's like, oh, your mileage may vary. Like, some people will just play it and have no problem. Other people might. It's going to be an adjustment.
So I think in terms of what it's going to allow that we can't get today, I think for certain types of games we're going to see a really interesting change or a really interesting approach. Like we were talking yesterday about horror. Take two. We were talking yesterday.
We don't actually cut, you know.
I know. We were talking. It just is how it is in my brain. I'm just always on. No,
Send
we were
us back
talking
to the home office in Sioux City, Iowa. Sorry.
No, we were talking about horror games yesterday, and I really do think that VR is a really interesting new place for horror to go.
Yeah, we're talking about Edge of Nowhere.
Exactly. Because it's able to use its camera angles in a really interesting way, especially with that 360 degrees surrounding you, to force you to look at things and to really build up in an atmosphere in a way that maybe non-VR can't. So I think certain genres will be enhanced by it.
I think third person is an answer to the AAA issue. That a lot of these games that are third person, look at Insomniac. They're jumping in whole hog because they have an engine that they could just plop down into VR and it works.
Yeah, they do.
The folks at Respawn or the folks at, Activision, they don't have an engine for VR because they're like, you're going to have to run around with a gun just like you do normally, and running around in VR when you're standing still makes you want to hurl.
And it's the same thing that we
That's
saw
just a problem.
with mobile gaming,
Yeah.
right? Like when we first started getting more character action games and action-driven games on there, everybody defaulted to on-screen touch controls, and it was the worst thing ever. And people still do it, and it's still the worst. But people have since taken that and they've fixed it and they've improved upon it, like we've seen with like Infinity Blade and all of those. So I mean, it's just a growing process.
Speaking of Insomniac, can I just propose Spider-Man PS4 and PSVR? It would be amazing and also make everyone sick, but it would be amazing for the few moments when you're web swinging before you throw up.
But really, to answer his question, like I don't think we're gonna see AAA studios enter the VR space until there's 1 million or more units.
That's
out
just
there.
it. Yeah, that's gonna be the first thing.
And just talking to people earlier today and yesterday, they're just not interested because $1 million doesn't mean anything to Activision.
But what's going to get 1 million or more units out there?
Yeah.
It's the chicken and the egg.
You're absolutely right. You need a killer app, and that's where I'm going to write an article about this. But Sony might just be good enough to win the VR war early. This first battle.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to upgrade a PS4 to get a VR headset. You just need a PS4 and that headset, and you're in.
And they, to their credit, they rolled out a lineup this year that's like, hey, look at these cool things that we have. I mean, I commented on how Riggs is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Their Batman thing is pretty cool. The Resident Evil, apparently, the VR is exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah.
So,
But is it a long-term thing? Like that's the thing. For me, VR needs to still answer the question of why. Like, why
because
do I want to
you
watch?
can't do it on a flat screen TV.
Well, no. I mean in not just in games, I guess, because if you want this thing to take off, like we're gonna have to find some way to spread it mass, so it's not just game people that are going to buy
Tilt brush
it,
is
right?
my answer to you.
Tilt brush is cool.
It's the first thing that's like, this is a tool. You
Sure.
can actually use this.
Yeah,
And I've talked
absolutely.
to a bunch of engineers that they're porting AutoCAD into VR, so you won't need to make a prototype of whatever you're engineering.
And that's super awesome.
So I think that's the key.
But
is
what's
that
the average person going to need it for? Because the average person doesn't use that.
It
That's
doesn't
the thing.
matter though, because if you can get enterprise to sign on for this, then you're going to start shipping tens of thousands. Because a Caterpillar, they're going to
Sure.
buy 20,000 headsets if they decide to implement it.
But see,
You
this
know?
is why I'm more
So-
interested in what HoloLens is going to be.
Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah.
AR,
Yeah.
AR
Yeah,
is
more
going to
than
have a
VR.
much broader appeal to enterprise and even like service industries.
Right.
So I think that there needs to be a use case, and right now for the average consumer, for the money, it's just not worth it.
Exactly, that's what I'm
I
saying.
talked to a lot of people today at our booth that tried out VR for the first time. And 9 times out of 10, the reason that they're not going to get it is price. It's cost prohibitive right
It
now.
is, it
it's
is.
not that they're not interested in it, because VR.
The issue with me. That's exactly the issue with me. Like, I love VR. I would spend every day in it if I could, but I can't afford it. Like, it's just too much.
Until the cost of the HMDs comes down, you're not going to see a large-scale VR project that's going to be like an 80-hour game experience. You're going to see a bunch of 10-hour game experiences that are really good. And maybe people don't need to spend 80 hours in VR. Maybe they only need to spend 20 minutes at a time.
Right.
Usually at home, for me, my average VR experience, time in my headset, It's about 40 minutes or less. You know, I want to play some of the lab. I want to jump in this, and then I'm done.
There's a really great guided meditation game.
Yeah.
But
that crunchy guy likes it. But it is definitely picking up in the industry, at least. The industry is behind it this year in a way that we haven't seen. Having been going to E3 for 4 years, I'm guessing 4 years. I would say this is probably 2 or 3 times as much as we've ever seen in VR.
Yeah, I see VR
easily.
everywhere.
I mean, I've gone to GDC, CES, and now E3 this year, and each show had probably 100% more HMDs on the show floor than the previous year, if not more. And the other problem is there's a lot of OEMs that are coming into the space. A lot of them from China, just like iPhone faces, but Oculus is facing competition. Gear VR is now facing competition.
Sure.
And I think Gear VR is that answer to how you achieve broad-based appeal.
I do too.
And I don't like it. It's actually a pretty poor VR
but it makes
experience.
sense for people. You take your phone and you put it in the front, and then you
It
put
shows
the thing
the
on your
appeal
head.
without being.
It's like
prohibitive.
here's a very low-end VR experience,
Exactly.
but at least it's VR.
Right.
You know, but you can't do tilt brush in there.
No, you can't. It's
You
true.
know?
It's true.
A few Shadow users have brought up one of my points, which is video games in VR don't actually interest me as much as more general cases. You know, I think it was A10 Pilot mentioned, you know, you could do virtual dissections in biology classes. You, as real estate agents, could use it to give house tours.
People in chat have mentioned a bunch of enterprise ideas: education, engineering, guided VR field trips, architecture tours. Yeah, like there are a million applications outside video games. It feels like we're just as the video game industry tends to do for things like this, we're the ones that are kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
And other people are going to end up adopting it later.
No, and I think if you look at early multi-touch apps, when iPhone and Android were really popping off, they're all games.
Yeah,
But
there were
now
a lot of games.
it's all trying to solve a problem,
Yeah.
you know, trying to be useful. And I think that's the same thing for broad-based appeal in VR. Is it has to solve something. Right now, it's a cool thing, and it's a discretionary purchase. And people, you know, they don't have the money to buy some ridiculously expensive HMD and a computer on top of it. But Pico Neo, which is probably going to be around $400 or $300, and I don't need a Samsung phone, and I can have a portable VR experience. That could be pretty awesome.
And that's, I think you give it a year or two, and you'll start to see some of those things roll out. And I'm with you. Like,
I just think it's going to be longer. And talking to Nate too, it's like, I think it's 5 years.
Sure.
5 years from now.
Does it survive that long though? Like, that's the thing.
Because you have a company with $300 billion backing it.
I don't think it's going to go away. I think it's interesting enough, even to people who haven't tried it, and it's real. It's here. That I don't think it will ever go away. I don't think it's going to die. It's not like it was in like 1995.
Because look, it died in 1995.
Yeah,
but VR itself, as a concept, didn't.
We
the
have the
companies all
technology.
died.
Yeah.
But the dream was still alive. And it's like there's too many people still dreaming that dream.
Yep.
And now that Facebook is backing it, and Valve has a crap ton of money too.
It's true.
You know, so and Valve's really smart. They took no risk on the hardware.
Yeah.
They licensed their tech out to HTC and said, "Here you guys go. Good luck with that." But you know, their whole plan is we're going to power the software. And I just think that when you look at the players, they're all too strong for VR to die.
Sure.
And talking to Facebook today, or talking to the folks at Oculus today, they're willing to invest billions in this.
They're very passionate about that. That's for
without
sure.
any expectation of return.
Sure.
Which is, you're right.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Because they're looking at it as the first step towards integrating into other platforms. Facebook is very interested right now in getting into things besides social media. So they're like, VR integrated into social media, integrated into our advertising models, integrated into, you know, they're starting like streaming for video games. Like they've decided to follow the Google model of let's put our finger in like every possible pie.
One thing I talked to Nate about just now is that VR as a communications platform, having it be a social experience, is giving it another element of being a tool, like a useful tool. That we'll be able, like, my best friend lives in Japan. If we could both put on HMDs and hang out in a virtual living room, play video games together, or talk to each other, or watch a movie together, or do whatever,
Sure.
you know, I think that they're down the road, this whole metaverse concept, that we're gonna have some sort of. It makes sense for Facebook to do this. Mark Zuckerberg put the HMD on his head and was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna bankrupt me because they're gonna make a VR Facebook," And he's a paranoid dude. He buys. He is. He bought WhatsApp for $18 billion. The guy's like, they got a lot of money and they're willing to buy out competitors or potential threats to preempt them. And I think this move, I screamed at my TV for 40 minutes when Oculus was acquired by Facebook. I was just like, really? Really? It just seemed early.
Right.
It's like, you guys haven't even shipped a product and you got bought for $2 billion.
Yeah, that's true.
And I thought that was high. But yeah.
Your phone's blowing up over there, man. You're popular.
So we could talk about
my best
VR
friend just
for
said, thanks for the shout out.
for literally forever, and
Yeah.
I think we probably will.
Well, Jingle Tard had a suggestion earlier that we could talk about Zelda for an hour.
We could talk about Zelda for an hour. We could. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, the
See y'all
awards.
later.
Yeah. So before we actually go, I'm trying to
Josh
keep this
is
at a
just
reasonable length.
Bye, Josh.
Josh is leaving. We're not talking about Zelda.
Josh
we were
literally
kidding.
just texted the stream
Jesus.
because we brought up Zelda. Thanks, Freon.
Josh is just out of here. Anyway, before we go today, we're going to be handing out some awards. Do we have Josh? As long as you're up,
Can you get some of those?
can you
award
go get a
thingies?
plaque? We
He's
have,
gonna throw them
for the
at
first
us.
time. If you're a press outlet at E3, one thing that a lot of press outlets do, whether they have a booth or not, is give out dumb little placards to the booths that represent the games that they like. We have a booth this year, and we were like, let's do that dumb thing. That'll be fun. So we
like
have these
bandwagons.
awards that we're going to be giving out actual awards for, best game, best genre breakdowns, best platform breakdowns, the normal kinds of awards you'd expect. We are also going to be giving out some sillier awards just for funsies. So I thought I would go around. Yes.
We'll write on
Waiting
them
to
later.
be filled in.
We'll write
We're
on
going to
them
be
later.
handing these out tomorrow. So I thought
Pretty
we'd go
fancy.
around and just name our nominee for a silly award, best silly kind of award. So my example, I'll get us kicked off just to give people time to think, and also given an example. I'm saying best dad is Kratos.
Best dad
Best
goes to Kratos.
dad of the year.
You
Best
know what?
dad.
That is super appropriate
Yeah.
because Father's Day is this weekend.
Exactly.
Too. Look
That's
at you.
actually
So
awesome,
on
Steve.
brand.
He's the best dad.
I'm gonna. Should I go with my best non-Shacknews Games Media
If
booth?
you want to. We're being
Or
silly
should
at
we
this
do,
point,
should
everyone.
we do
by
best
the way.
carpet?
Best carpet? Yeah,
Oh,
best
that's
carpet.
pretty
Give
good.
us
I'll do
carpet.
best carpet. Because I don't think they really win awards very often.
No.
I'm gonna give it to Twitch. Their carpet's
Oh.
mighty comfortable.
Yeah, it's very plush.
Over it yesterday.
It's
I
nice.
can't vote for that.
You tripped over it
Can't vote
yesterday?
for that.
Okay.
I was on my way to a meeting
Best
and I
game. Jonan,
can't vote for that.
Too much padding?
I didn't fall down, but I stumbled and like flailed a
Jonan
little bit,
suggests,
So I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna. You
I
know what?
can't do it.
I think because Twitch, they do it for Shacknews all the time. I know Kill Nine's there.
Oh.
We're gonna give Twitch best carpet of the year.
best game you can't talk about award. Josh will just leave that one blank and hand it out.
That's perfect.
Best game you can't talk about award. That's awesome.
So, all right, Cass, give us a silly award here.
I am going to go with... I'm torn because I kind of want to go with either... You all right over there? We all good? Okay.
I don't know what's
He
happening.
told me to move over. Apparently, we can't spoon anymore.
I'm going to go with
Oh, we could.
angriest dude on the side of a booth.
Also Kratos.
I think he's outdone by the Tekken 7 guys.
Oh, that's true.
I think Tekken
They look
7,
very angry.
Bandai Namco, they've got, their anger game is on point. Like, it's, yeah. So, yep.
Yeah.
Most-
Hihachi, am I pronouncing that right? Yeah,
I don't know.
he's a very angry looking man.
Yep.
So David.
Zelda?
Give it-
Oh,
Best Zelda of the year.
Best
best Zelda of the year
goes to Zelda.
goes to Zelda for Zelda. No,
We should just give them best Zelda.
I think best Zelda.
Zelda
That's
of the year.
their issue. No, I still want to go with best corridor.
Best Zelda of the show.
With just Sony and Microsoft angrily staring each other down as
Yeah.
they do year after year. That's mine.
Or
best corridor.
or as we said earlier, like best metaphor for the console
For the
wars.
console wars.
the way the Xbox and PlayStation booth every year have gigantic walls. They are not open on those sides.
Yeah.
They have gigantic walls facing towards each other.
If you look at a picture of that poster, it looks like some professional wrestling advertisement, like two dudes just staring each other down, like. "Arr." Yeah.
Can I give out one more?
Great.
sure.
Yeah, why not?
I would like to give out Best Promotional Gimmick Award. And it goes to the characters in the women's bathroom that they have put up on the
What?
mirror.
Oh, okay.
So they have like a full body mirror. I don't know if
Yeah.
they have this in the dude's bathroom.
No.
They have like a full body mirror where they've put like a Gears of War character and their head is carved
Oh, yeah,
out.
that's in the
So
men's
you
room,
can-
too. Yeah.
So you can, like, I walked
Yeah.
in on a girl doing it. It was the funniest thing.
It's pretty good.
Just like lining her head up just right. Yeah. So that's
And then snapping a selfie.
Exactly.
Can I
Best
get one
best
more?
promotional gimmick.
Yeah, everybody can get
I'm
one.
gonna do
We're
best-
we're being silly and bullshitting. It doesn't matter.
I want to do a best do it for Shacknews award.
Oh, best do it for Shacknews goes to Shacknews.
No, we're gonna give. No, I'm gonna give it to Oculus because they did it for Shacknews just now.
That's
I mean,
true.
like, I think they deserve it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give them the do it for the best do it.
Best
for
do it
Shacknews.
Can
for
we get
Shacknews.
can we get like a Nike rip-off shirt that says "Just Do It for Shacknews"?
Just do it for Shacknews.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
we definitely won't get sued by a
I mean-
multi-billion-dollar corporation or anything.
No one's watching. It's not like they're gonna see.
You don't have
And
to
honestly,
put the
it's
swoosh
better
on it.
if they sue us. It's free publicity. At this point, like, really, do you think Nike's gonna be like, we gotta stop Shacknews? That Shacknews is taking tens of dollars away from us.
That was a real nice job I had once.
I'm just saying, really? You think that Nike's gonna put us out of
I
business
just want
over
that
a
shirt.
just
I
do
just
it for Shacknews?
I just want that
As
shirt.
long as we don't do the swoosh, we're good.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll just do Lamb Sand Line down there.
They won't know anything.
Trust me. Do it for Shacknews is not patented by anyone
No,
or trademarked.
no. I'm
it
sure
should
it's
be.
not.
Can we get
I
that?
just trademarked it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Boom.
We're gonna write it down
mailed a
and
letter
mail
to
it.
myself. That counts.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Video goes viral.
And then Mr. Nike watching from his tower is like, what the fuck?
Phil Knight's like, send my minions. Find that Asif Khan. Destroy it.
All right, so those are our silly awards. I'm sure we're going to be passing around an email thread
Yeah.
or something tonight
Yeah.
to get them actually organized and give out awards tomorrow.
We're bringing those back.
Can I
So-
put? Can I like seriously? Can I put like an award on the mirror that says like best promotional
Yeah,
gimmick? Okay.
totally.
I'm
Look at
really
that.
excited
Why not?
about this one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, this is the Shacknews.
I've been wanting to talk about
Somebody
those
will take
things
it down,
all day.
probably, but
Yeah.
still.
Take a picture of it, social media it,
I'll
and
do
then
it. I'll do it for Shacknews.
yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Well, I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm
Yep.
spent.
I'm
Yep,
out.
we're good. We
My
all
feet
need to
hurt.
eat dinner.
My feet
There's
really
still
Go
another
stand on
day
the
left.
red carpet.
There's
I'm
still one
gonna
more
go-
day.
I might go sandals tomorrow.
Also,
It'll be
It
way
will
worse.
hurt worse.
Yeah, it will.
I got these nice insoles, but man,
Yeah.
All right, so
Dog's
we will be
barking.
back with actually several shows tomorrow, all capping off with our post E3 show. That is, it feels like it's ending so fast. We'll have our actual last post E3 show tomorrow, and we'll say a fond farewell to our having our own booth
and
this year.
a
which was very
special
nice.
shout out to Soggy Bagel and Rodney Stubbs. They were working the booth. I don't know if Rodney's coming back. Soggy just told me he's not going to be back tomorrow. But all of our chatty volunteers have been great.
Yeah.
Tinfoil Hatter's going to be back tomorrow.
Every time I've
And,
come here, there have been at least 2 or more chatty volunteers hanging
And
out.
yeah, Snow
Making sure everybody
Pea,
is
and
taken
yeah,
care of.
it's just been great.
Yeah, it's
But,
great. So
we
thank
love you
you
guys.
to the chatty. Thank you for asking engaging questions while we're doing this. Tune in tomorrow and continue to ask questions because that makes it much easier to interview people and also lets us know things that you want to know. We actually had a story today that broke out because somebody on chatty asked questions.
That's
It was
awesome.
really nice.
And
So-
yeah, go back to that thread, say something, and you could win a T-shirt.
Yeah, definitely. So we will be back tomorrow. Until then,
Do it for Shack News.
do it for Shack News.
Just do it for Shacknews.